Hello and welcome back to American Classic Tour TV. I'm your host JD Conroy, and on today's episode we are going to preview our second new tour release for 2021. But before we do that, I want to introduce a new segment here on our show, American Classic News. I'm excited about this. This is a way for us to stay in touch with you on a week-to-week or bi-weekly basis and let you know currently what's going on here with us at American Classic Tours. Well, first up, we've got two tours out right now, okay? We've got our Hawaii tour, which is being led by Suzette. They're having a great time out in Hawaii. The weather is obviously much better there than it is here at home in Chicago. And Suzette wanted me to send you all her greetings. And then the second tour we have out right now is our Florida Keys tour. That's being led by my mom and dad, Joe and Sheila Conroy. My dad sent me this video yesterday from his hotel room, as you can see here. The palm trees, it was around 85 degrees yesterday. Sure beats what we had here in the Midwest, so they're really having a fun time out in the Florida Keys. Next up, we have an announcement with regards to our New York City Spring Theater Tour coming up in May. Last week, we sent out an email announcing the 3 shows that are going to be included on this tour. The first is To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Aaron Sorkin, starring Ed Harris. This is a real hit on Broadway right now. The second is Tina, the Tina Turner musical. And the third show is a really unique story. It's based on the true story on 9/11. About 35 planes were rerouted and grounded in a tiny town of Newfoundland. Okay, and so this tiny little town opened up its arms to travelers from around the world. And this musical, Come From Away, tells this true story. It's a really neat and uplifting musical. Our final bit of news is that we wanted to announce that the following 4 tours are almost sold out. Our New Orleans tour coming in April, our DC Cherry coming up in April are both almost sold out. We might have maybe 4 spots left on each of those tours. Our Mississippi River Cruise in June and our Southwest National Parks tour coming up in September are both almost sold out as well. So if you're interested in any of these tours, make sure you sign up sooner rather than later before all the space is gone. Okay, folks, so let's get on to the topic of today's show. We're going to be previewing our second new tour release for 2021, and that is our Florida Keys tour coming up next February. Now, before we get into the itinerary, I just want to let you know that since you tuned in today, you'll have access to an exclusive Tour TV discount. If you sign up by March 1st, you can save $200 on this tour. Okay, so let's take a look at this Florida Keys tour. The first question you're probably asking yourself is, what makes this tour special? Why should, of all the tours I could go on, why this tour to the Florida Keys? Well, first of all, it's an amazing way to escape the winter cold. Again, we're going in early February, especially if you're from the Midwest like me. It's a brutal time of year in terms of weather. This is a great way to escape the weather. Should be in the high 70s, low 80s when we are in the Florida Keys. The second reason, or the second thing that makes this tour unique, is it features fine Floridian resorts. Okay, we're going to be staying at the Marriott Key Largo, the DoubleTree Grand Key Resort in Key West, and the Marriott Hollywood Beach in the Miami area. And, you know, like any other American Classic tour, these rooms are clean, comfortable, they have modern amenities. It's kind of a home away from home, but it's really where these hotels are located, the experiential nature. This is the view from the Marriott Hollywood Beach, the last hotel we'll be staying at on this tour, which makes this really unique. So you're not just getting away to warm weather, you're getting away and you're staying on white sandy beaches. And because of this tour moves at a very relaxing pace. You know, we have a lot of different pockets of free time. We want to give you plenty of time to just soak up the sun, walk the white sandy beaches, and enjoy the ocean. Like any American Classic tour, your tour will begin with a free home pickup at your front door. Your limousine driver will bring you to O'Hare, where you'll be met curbside by an American Classic Tour staff member who will lead you inside to a private group airline check-in where you'll meet your tour director and the rest of your group. Together, we'll fly into Miami. Now, if you're not from the greater Chicagoland area and you're not going to be flying with us, we offer what we call land-only packages. So if you're from Dallas or New York City or wherever you're from, you can fly into Miami where your tour director will meet you and lead you to the rest of the group, and we'll start our journey together. Now, if you look at this map here, you'll see the 3 dots, okay? Those are the 3 places we're going to be staying on this tour. We're going to fly into Miami first, as you can see here. And then we're going to make our way down to Key Largo, where we're going to stay for our first 2 nights at the Key Largo Resort. Then we're going to make our way down the Overseas Highway to Key West, where we'll be staying our next 2 nights, and then we'll drive back up to Miami, where we're going to be staying at the Marriott Hollywood Beach for the last 2 nights of our tour. So one of the real big highlights or bucket list items on this tour is our driving on the Overseas Highway. This is perhaps one of America's most unique scenic drives. You're basically driving over the ocean for miles and miles and miles, traveling along the Keys. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the highlights on this tour. We'll take a glass-bottom boat cruise off the coast of Key Largo. We'll visit the Theater of the Sea Marine Wildlife Park, where we'll see dolphin shows. We'll see otters, parrots, stingrays, and much, much more. We'll take a guided tour of Key West aboard the famous Conch tour train, where we'll see the southernmost point of the continental United States. We'll take a guided tour of Ernest Hemingway's home on Key West. And of course, we'll try some delicious key lime pie during our time in Key West. Now, when you're in Key West, you'll have an opportunity to take in the world-famous Mallory Square Sunset Celebration. Basically, 365 days a year, artisans, craftsmen, street performers, musicians, magicians, you name it, they come out to Mallory Square in the afternoon, and they kind of perform or sell their goods. It's like a big party in the little main square of Key West. But about 15 to 20 minutes before the sun sets, everything gets real quiet, the performances stop, and everybody walks over to the ocean together, kind of in quiet peace, and watches this beautiful sunset here in Key West. I actually took this photo that you see right here when I was in Key West, so it looks just like you see it here. It's really an amazing sunset. Then we'll leave Key West and we'll make our way back up to Miami. On our way to Miami, we are going to stop at the Everglades Alligator Farm, where we'll take an airboat ride and we'll see a bunch of alligators and other Florida wildlife. We'll stop at the famous Robert's Shake and Fruit Stand for some awesome Florida smoothies, and you'll have a chance to buy some fresh Florida fruit if you'd like as well before we arrive in Miami. While we're in Miami, you'll visit South Beach, where you'll see the famous Art Deco of South Beach. We'll take a tour of Coral Gables and see the Biltmore Hotel. We'll tour Little Havana, Miami's Cuban neighborhood, where you'll have a chance if you want to try some Cuban espresso. You'll see the guys out in the public parks playing dominoes. And then the last thing we'll take in on this tour is the Vizcaya Mansion, pictured here. The Vizcaya Mansion has a very interesting story. A guy by the name of James Deering, who is actually from the Midwest, the Chicagoland area, came down. He made a bunch of money by producing harvesting equipment in the early 1900s. He made a fortune, and with his fortune, he came down to Miami and built this Italian-style estate called the Vizcaya Mansion. So we'll tour the inside of the home, we'll learn about James Deering, and we'll tour the beautiful gardens there on the property. Well, folks, that's our tour to the Florida Keys coming next February. Let's take a look at all that is included on this tour. Your tour will begin and end with a free home pickup and return at your front door, private group airline check-in, round-trip airfare, and 1 checked bag, 6 nights deluxe hotel accommodations, 11 meals are included, 6 breakfasts, 1 lunch, and 4 dinners. All attractions, tours, and admissions are included. Luggage handling throughout your tour is included. All tips and taxes are included. The services of premier local guides and of an American Classic tour director are included as well. There is limited space available on this tour. We do anticipate that this tour will sell out, so if you're interested, do not delay. Make sure you call us sooner rather than later to make your reservation before space runs out. Remember, there is an exclusive Tour TV discount. If you sign up by March 1st for this tour, you'll save $200 off your reservation. If you're ready to join us, here's the pricing information and travel insurance rates. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, if you are not from the greater Chicagoland area, we have what we call land-only prices. It's the same exact tour. We just take the cost of the airfare out of the price of the tour. Everything else is the same. So right there is the pricing information. To make a reservation, call us at 847-548-3333. There's an $1,000 deposit due with your reservation. That's per person, and a final payment is not due until November. Okay, just one more time. Remember, if you sign up by March 1st, there's a $200 Tour TV discount. To see the full itinerary, visit amclassictours.com/Florida Keys. Thanks everybody for tuning in to this episode of American Classic Tour TV. We'll see you next time.